This clip of the Land podcast set on David Gorder and talking about North Dakota and how it might be the next big buck state. In the 90s, it was Illinois. In the 2000s, it was South Central Iowa. Where is the next hot location going to be? Maybe North Dakota. I'd love to know your guys' thought in the comments below. Here's David's take. Hope you guys enjoy it. Have you seen more out-of-state people buying land in North Dakota? Because obviously there's this mass exodus of states like Illinois, California, New York, and they're predominantly going to more red states. I mean, that's basically what the data shows. Have you seen that happen over the last couple of years?
North Dakota has been growing over the last several years. As far as buying land, absolutely. I would say it's more geared towards waterfowl and pheasant. In Western North Dakota, you'll see people buy large tracts of land for pheasant hunting, or in Central North Dakota, you'll see guys buy not quite so much, but 100 acres, couple hundred acres just for waterfowl. In Eastern North Dakota, it's more, I would say, local people from the populations like Grand Forks and Fargo that are buying smaller tracts of land so they can go bow hunt for the afternoon. Mm-hmm. That's been we've got a lot of interest in that just from interested buyers. Just in the last 10 years or so, the amount of rifle permits that have been issued in North Dakota have really decreased. They've crept up over the last 5 or 6, so they're getting back to where they were. But it urged a lot of people, if they wanted to get meat in their freezer, they had to go buy a bow and start archery. So that changed, and people fall in love with it. So then they're looking for land, and so that's changed the dynamic as well. But to answer your question, for whitetail, I don't think it's much of an out of state
destination
buyer pool. I don't think it's quite a destination for that yet. I think it's
what is your gut? What do you say? What's your gut feeling on the whitetail? I mean, so I can just tell you, growing up from Illinois, like, it has progressively, I hate to say it, but it's gotten a little bit worse. I mean, and I wouldn't say a little bit, like, even in the last couple of years, I've noticed it. The general population feels like it's declined slightly. And then, so just as a diehard whitetail person, you look at all these different states, and then you look at some of the ground over there, it's drastically cheaper and less hunting pressure. And some of the deer that they're killing are still really darn good. So, like, as just like a general hedge, like, what is your gut? Do you think there'll be a day where it becomes more of a destination? This is just a gut feeling, so there's no wrong answer.
I think so, just for the reasons that you stated. I mean, you're buying land here at a fraction of a price. So it was just never in the past really an option. I don't think that somebody who wanted to sell their ground could market to out-of-state hunters. So now that there are people like you, Jake, and people listening that are looking for land to hunt in different states just for whitetail, I think so. I think it'll increase the interest for sure, and then possibly the values. Because the deer population in North Dakota is good, and it is a high success rate because of the lack of cover. So if you do have an area where you have good cover, food, water, there will be deer there. And if you can buy in a way that you can manage that and manage that herd, I think the success rate is probably higher than a lot of places. Like, for example, we're right on the border with Minnesota, and you go a couple hours east into Minnesota and you get into more woods and timber country. Well, I got a lot of friends that have hunting cabins out there, and those deer can go anywhere they want. I mean, there's woods all the way to,
they're limited
all the way to the East Coast. So they can really travel. Managing that deer, the herd, is a lot more difficult. One, because you have a lot more predators. When you get out there, you have more yotes, you got wolves. In North Dakota, there are places where you can have coyote issues, but that's manageable. And so I think your success rate's a little bit higher versus, picking a place that's more heavily timber, like Montana, Minnesota. So it's more improvable, I think, because you can improve by addition versus in Minnesota, it's more subtraction. You got to cut lanes and just hopefully stay on your property.
Yeah, that's really unique and interesting. Where do you see most of the buyers that you work with that are buying recreational land? Like, are they coming from the Grand Fork area itself, or Fargo, or in Minnesota? I mean, where are most of those folks coming from to buy recreational land?
Yeah, so the buyers I've worked with, kind of like I mentioned earlier, were guys that are located in a city of North Dakota. So Grand Forks and Fargo, that were looking in rural areas for property. And then it kind of depends on the land too. Like we talked about that sale, what we had, that there was elk gratis opportunity. That opportunity for landowner preference for elk is only for North Dakota residents. So that kind of takes out
Sure.
out of state buyers because they don't get the same hunting rights to it. So yeah, we mostly in state, mostly regional are the buyers that we work with.
No.
But the interest comes from all over. When we advertise hunting property, it seems like we get interest from Illinois, from Iowa, from southern Minnesota.
Yeah, it's interesting because look, I have Google Maps up right now and I'm looking at the satellite and a lot of it does look very barren, just very, very empty. But like to your point, like looks like there's some areas that have some pretty cool spots. But what about those ones that just have, I would call them more marshy? Like, would that be a good candidate?
It depends what you're looking for. I mean, they can be. One, because a lot of times in the areas that all the high ground's farmable, so you have a good income opportunity off of it by renting out that farm ground. And two, it's very diverse. I mean, you can go out there and limit out on ducks, and then come back with a rifle in the afternoon and try to find a deer or try to find some fur bearers. So I think so. I mean, I like that kind of hunting. And like I said, if you're far enough west and there's pheasant in those sloughs, that's a blast. It depends on what you're into, but it's very diverse. You can do a lot of different things with it. There's income opportunity. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Jake Hofer, and I'm a real estate agent out of the state of Illinois, and it's my goal to help 100 people buy their first farm. Been doing that with the Land Podcast and clips like this every single Thursday and Saturday that are released here on the channel. And to be one of those 100 people, all you have to do is, if you're in the state of Illinois and I can help you, I'd be happy to do so. Number two, if you want to get connected with someone that can help you, reach out and I'll be happy to get you in contact with an agent that I would personally do business with. And the last one is, if you just simply learn something from the content we're putting out, or you get inspired to take action, I want to know, get you out of that spreadsheet. I'm on a mission to help 100 people. Until next time, see ya.